college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on The Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. It is JJ.
Getting
Alex.
JJ started today. It's Friday, baby.
Don't get me started on it.
Hey, you guys heard it from him.
Yeah.
You don't have to hear it from me.
But that's a great start to a show. Don't even get me started. That should be like the name of our Fox show.
Take that clip, Alex.
Yeah,
Take
you know
that
what?
clip nap.
Now that Mark Sanchez doesn't have a gig, can we hire him for our new show? Don't even get me started.
That sounds like a great idea.
Hey, Sanchez, what happened? I feel like you got railroaded on this thing. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I almost killed him, but I didn't mean to.
Yeah, but you should have seen the other guy. Yeah, he was 70. We did see him.
Oh, we saw him. The entire internet saw him, buddy.
It's not good, all right? Welcome to the program. Hey, it's a Football Friday. We've got a beautiful view. I mean, what is this? This is probably this is like a 270-degree view of the entire valley here. We're facing north. We're at Harriman. Or we're in Harriman at the home of Mountain Ridge High School, who are going to be hosting Harriman tonight. So it's like a battle of brothers, right? Kind of a
Brothers.
half brothers.
Oh, there's no brothers here tonight.
Yeah, brothers don't like each other most of the time, but there's still a little love that
See, that's even better.
Zero.
Well, it's like my two sons. Then it's like
this is a war tonight.
Technically, they're brothers, but they don't want to claim.
They still live in the same
house. They're not
house.
the Wayne brothers.
All right,
Happy,
I get it.
and they're singing.
If you left these two teams in the same room overnight, it's a death match.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
only one team's leaving.
From the staff all the way down to the long snapper.
The battle
is on.
The battle of the awkward, don't like to see each other even once a year cousins.
And they're playing for the second time this year, there's some bad blood.
So this was the game. Remind me, too, this is the Harriman Mountain Ridge game when lightning is striking all over the valley.
It ended at like 12:45
and everyone's like, anyway, for the safety of the kids.
And Tooele like, what the heck?
I know. And everyone's like, for the safety of the kids, let's put this to tomorrow. And then some of the coaches were like,
absolutely not.
I will never step foot on this field again if we have to come back again. So, yeah, no love lost on a playoff game like this. Man, the playoffs are in full swing. You know what's on the line for this week is a trip to Rice-Eccles Stadium for the folks here in 6A, right?
Next week? Is that next week already,
yes,
JJ?
It is.
We're going to the turf next week, Sly, Thursday and Friday.
That's my home over there. So, I just love it over there.
That's where you live, right?
Perfect.
Actually, I was going to say you have a
room in the south end zone.
In the northwest.
Okay.
Oh,
northwest corner. There's a little tent. There's a little room over there. Hidden room. Nobody knows about.
Hidden room. Yeah.
That's why I pop out.
You know the top of that building.
It's reserved for the all-time greats.
The top of the building says Utah over there. That little field house in there. You got like a little glass room.
Bro,
over there.
you know I was supposed to be the A on that.
You were,
but they didn't want to pay the name, image, and likeness on that
to you
back in the day. So
wow.
Oh shoot, he's a senior. We can't do that. So the Utah man logo now?
I see it.
Yeah,
right.
That'd be a really nice A on that building.
I don't know if they were going to do it or not, but this was the murmurs. There was whisper murmurs. I was supposed to be the A on that thing. That was going to be great.
Well,
I was just like, I'll take it. Yeah, go ahead. The next they put Utah. I was like, what happened to my deal?
I'm glad. Look, I'm glad you came to the show to be the big giant A on this show. So.
Sly, you set yourself up.
No, that's every day.
That's comedy.
If you think I'm offended by that, you should listen to the warden talk to me every day.
The warden.
I think he said the ward. I was like, yeah, I would love to send the ward around to Whitney and Sly's house.
They come knocking.
Of course, I'm sure they do.
They better. Hey, welcome to Football Friday. Stevenson Sylvester over here. Harvey Langi over here. Now, you guys are both wearing two separate colors.
Hey, man,
I love it.
It's the end of the season. Normally, Utah and BYU plays around this time, and so
it feels right. And you know what's great is there's a possibility of these teams playing one another again.
I love it.
Can you freaking believe it?
Can we get into a whole segment where we're just going back and forth on the possibilities?
Well, okay.
That's what we're going to do for 2 hours.
So
what do you think we're here for?
That's exactly what we're going to do today.
Well, let me ask you this. First of all, Harvey, good to see you, man. Everything good?
Yep.
Harvey showed up with treats today. This is a different. These are different snacks for
Harvey.
us.
It's not Harvey. It's a poop.
Yeah. Hey,
No, don't you dare.
just trying to keep everyone warm, bring a little chocolate milk. The hot chocolate.
The hot chocolate,
Nope.
yes.
Keep everything nice and warm. Let us just be over here doing our thing. Once that sun sets, like JJ said earlier, it's going to get a little nippy, but guess what? We got some hot
Yeah, we do.
chocolate, baby.
You know when
Got some Mormon lattes.
Yeah, what I was so when
Hot
I was
moms are following JJ in here.
so when I was I got a real view of capitalism when I was a kid. I sold hot dogs and hot chocolate at Husky Stadium.
Capitalism?
Oh yeah, here's why. Because as soon as the weather started to turn a little bit, you forget how insane people get. This is worth $1,000.
Oh,
yes.
You know what I mean? You go to these games, it's watered down. It tastes like it like you give them those little cups that are just watered down that you barely made any hot chocolate into. You can still see through the water. And you're like, yeah, we got hot chocolate. It's $8.
Yes.
And they're like, give me 14.
Cost
How
you
many do
40
have?
cents.
Right. So I was always like, oh my gosh. I remember vividly. Do you remember the game where Corey Dillon ran for 225 yards in the first quarter?
Yes, I
against
do.
San Jose State
San
back
Jose?
in the day, and I knew I took advantage of the fact that I was walking around with hot chocolate and hot dogs at Husky Stadium. I would stay out on my route. I'd be like,
You didn't even care about
Get
football.
your
You were
hot
trying
dog-
to get the money.
No. I only wanted to watch a football. I'm like, get your hot dogs here, and I'm like, oh, I basically I was getting paid to watch these football games. The thing that I had to pay with, I had a purple visor on that you wore, and then you had the little get up.
Pack thing.
I still have I have a picture of my sister and I because we both did it. Wearing those things, but
Can you imagine
The amount of
him
hot
with
chocolate-
a little purple hat, a starter jacket, and a fanny pack?
dude,
I'm buying 5 hot
the
dogs.
the starter jacket would have made it look cool. I was just a fat kid with the visor on. I look like chubby John Gruden walking around with a purple visor on. Well, welcome back to the program. It is a Football Friday. We're gonna jump right in here. We got lots to go. Sly said, "Can we talk about the college football playoff?" I'm like, "What do you think we came here to do?" And then we started talking about hot chocolate and hot dogs. And so now I know why you asked, because we can get off of topic pretty quickly here on our Friday. So let's jump in here officially. It's a shortened show because you've got I think we've got the Jazz right after this. It's going to start up a little bit earlier.
Yep, they're,
so
That's why it feels like we haven't seen
Pregame
each
show
other
at
in
5,
a while.
Minnesota
Yeah,
at 6.
Halloween
yeah,
last week.
you got
Yep.
Timberwolves
That's
tonight.
right.
Yeah. So there's lots going on, and we got to jam it all into here, and we got to get this thing going. Let's kick it off officially with the cut here, top of the show.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJAN Wealth.com. Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Go check them out. TrajanWealth.com. All right. So in the boy, it is beautiful out here. We got the copper mine to our left, as you see it. As Greg Wrubell would say, from right to left, I've got the copper mines.
That's
and then
the mine that Bingham Miners are named after.
That's right. And then we've got and then up north, I'm looking at Salt Lake City, and then over here to the right, you've got Mount Olympus, and it's just a beautiful setting out here. And it isn't that cold compared to what we could be getting, I guess, in November. So
No, you'll take this. This is great football.
The sun is beating down on Sly, so we're good. All right, the college football playoffs have been revealed. And this first go-around have the usual suspects in the top 15, in the top 12. But in addition to the usual suspects of your multiple SEC, multiple Big Ten teams, like I said, the people that you're used to seeing and hearing from, you now have BYU at 7, Texas Tech at 8, and then Utah chimes in at number 13 in the first college football playoff poll. We were talking about how big of a deal it is to be 13 right off the bat, because Utah's whole thing is all they can do is just win every game in front of them. They can't do anything else but just win every game in front of them. Now, here's what's the good thing. Those are the Big 12 teams that are in the top 25. It takes you to get to number 14 with Virginia before you get to your first ACC team in the college football playoff rankings. That's great news for the Big 12. It's also, I think, kind of an indicator that if Utah is able to start to just keep doing what they've done the last 3 games, if BYU and Texas Tech can really just obviously somebody's going to beat somebody this weekend. But I think the backstop is that Utah team. I don't think you're going to see much of a slide from either BYU or Texas Tech with a loss this weekend. And I think the Big 12 is set up right now the way that they've been grouped together in these rankings. The more I think about it, I think that they can really just keep themselves with a couple of teams in there in the conversation, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility to think that a third could make an argument if that third is Utah, to be able to get into that college football playoff. And on top of all that, the possibility of Utah and BYU facing off in a rivalry game edition of the Big 12 Conference Championship game.
Wait.
The problem is, Sly, you've got to root for the Cougs this weekend. Is that hard for you?
No.
The only reason I can say no is because of Kalani. If Kalani wasn't there, I'd be like, yeah, I can't do it. But I love my guy Kalani, and I would love nothing more than the face-off against him in Arlington.
Yeah.
At Jerry's World.
And listen, that's a million years from right now. But
Right.
the possibility is there.
Million years? We're already
I know.
Here's the hard truth, though. Utah fans must cheer for BYU because a Texas Tech win this week, it's
all but
look at
elimination.
Texas Tech's schedule.
Yeah. Well, here's
They're
the thing.
not going to lose a second game in conference play.
Right.
I agree, but no game
And then
is won before it's played.
then you need BYU to lose 2 after that. That's not going to happen either.
Yeah, that's tough.
So you need BYU to win this game
And just
because it
have
drops
BYU
Texas
win out.
Tech down to a second loss, and you've got Utah, Texas Tech, and Arizona State all with a 2-loss.
Houston.
I think Cincinnati's possibly.
Cincinnati's got
Houston's
a
not going to stay at 2
record.
losses. Cincinnati's going to stay at 2 losses.
Schedule.
And in a scenario with Arizona State, Utah, and Texas Tech, I believe Utah comes out on top in the tiebreak because of their dominant win over Arizona State, who beat Texas Tech.
Right.
Think about how wild
Based
it is.
on the tiebreaker scenario that would play out in that circumstance.
28-point win?
What's
Yes.
that meme with Paul Rudd on the Hot Ones show where he goes, "Look at us, look at us." Who would have thought we'd be talking about this at this time of year with this BYU team and with this Utah team? I mean, the honest truth is I think there are a lot of people who feel so good right now from a national standpoint. People see Utah and they go, "That's the Utah we've seen before." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year feels like more of the exception, more than this year being a little bit more of that rule of knowing that that's what you get with a Utah team. BYU is ranked 7th in the college football playoff. So right now, your top 3 at the top of this of the tables in the standings, the Big 12 are BYU at 1, and then Tech, and then Utah right there behind them. The conference does so well, I think, to have teams like BYU and Utah toward the top. It makes the conference stronger when you can have some strength, right? I mean, honestly, you need
100%.
Biasly,
No.
you got to say
but
that.
you got to have brands at the top that matter.
I
and
know.
I'm
I
telling
get you. Narrative. It's marketing narrative. I say it all the time. The whole standpoint of a football game is about the narrative and telling the story and how you start a football game, about second quarter, come out in the third quarter. It's all about telling the story. If you want to tell a story about college football by itself or even a conference, you want to have your best notable team. It's why the Big Ten didn't think that other schools were good. I want to get the Los Angeles schools. I want to get the Oregon or whatever, right? It's their narrative that they want to put in. But Utah is a notable name that's played in big games, that's have big names a part of it, a lot of NFL talent in the whole state of Utah. BYU has tons of – I didn't even realize how much NFL talent BYU has, and the quarterback pedigree, the history by them. You could just tell so many stories. So, yes, I think the conference does way better when these two are at the top.
Yeah, 100%. If for the Texas Tech and for the BYU game, for the Big 12, either or, if they win, whoever wins that's just great for the Big 12, nationally. And if Utah keeps doing their thing, yeah, if we're talking about the whole nation and the Big 12 in general, that's great for it. But for BYU individually, this is their opportunity to show, hey, we lost Texas and Oklahoma in the Big 12. They went to the other conferences. Who's the big dogs now in this? We all know that Texas Tech is one. We know that Utah's one when, with Utah's their history and what Coach Whittingham has done since he's been the head coach over there. Now this is BYU's opportunity to say, hey, we are for real, and we bring a lot of value to not only the Big 12, but we are a contender to always be in the top 20, top 10, and a team, to be taken with some respect. And it's huge.
When people look at the playoff right now, where it's at currently with the current rankings, a lot of people nationally looking at BYU and saying, wow, they're 7 right now, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Because they don't have that marquee win this year other than Utah, right? What's the biggest win on their schedule? If they beat Texas Tech in a top 10 showdown in their building at 10 a.m. in the morning, You don't have that criticism anymore.
Right.
BYU can vault their resume by getting that win and validate their number 7 ranking in the college football playoff rankings. That's why Saturday is so important for BYU. Now, there's some desperation with Texas Tech in this game.
Oh, yeah.
A second loss for Texas Tech is devastating to their playoff hopes, and then it puts their spot in the Big 12 championship game in jeopardy with that tie-breaking scenario I just played out. Texas Tech feels more pressure in this game. BYU has a mulligan, but BYU has a lot to prove here. If they really believe they're the 7th best team in the country, they should win on Saturday and get that marquee win, so everybody has to pay attention to them and say and validate that ranking. Look, we need to start giving the Cougars some love. They deserve to be there. That's their chance on Saturday.
Here's what's good for what this weekend's game is, because there's part of you that goes, man, BYU and Texas Tech get ranked 7 and 8 in the first college football playoff rankings, and then somebody's going to tumble immediately, right? Because that's the way it works. I say tumble, whatever version of that's going to look like.
And will the committee use that as an excuse to drop them below some SEC teams?
They'll drop them further than an SEC team at ranked 7th losing to an 8th team would go.
Correct.
But I wonder how far that tumble is going to be. We'll see. And there's still a lot of football left. It's about not losing that second game. I mean, that's honestly
100% for BYU.
If
everybody.
BYU, yeah, you can't look at the teams right now that they're trying so freaking hard, because they'll say, hey, look, a Texas team with 2 losses, we can sneak those
Joel
guys
Klatt's
in.
making the case a 9-3 Texas is a lock.
Yes, and it makes me so mad.
You want to know why that is?
conversation.
Because if they finish 9-3, it means they either beat Georgia or Texas A&M.
And those are big wins. But here's the thing: if you these 9-3 teams, I mean, you saw they put Tennessee at 6-3 at number 25 in the college football playoff ranking.
Terrible last year.
At Cincinnati, who lost to Utah, that's their only conference loss so far this year. They got their butts handed to them by an extremely good Utah team who's playing really, really good football right now. And they didn't even sniff the top 25 rankings of the college football playoff rankings right off the bat, because you see where they have these teams across the board. However, when you see those rankings and you see where these teams are the SEC and the Big Ten do this. This is the first top 10. This is why the conference affiliation the BYU has right now, and Utah's already known this, being in a power conference before, having the affiliation that you do when you're ranked 7th and 8th playing a top 10 matchup. It's the first time in BYU's history they've ever done it. We were talking to that Texas Tech guy yesterday. He goes, that shocks me, knowing what BYU's
But he said it's the
history
biggest game for Texas Tech since 1976.
Yeah, and even then, like, no one will tell you that the 1976 Texas Tech team is playing in an old, the old SWAC or whatever it was, or whatever the version
Southwest Conference.
Yeah, and so they're it's different. It's not the same. It is the biggest game for BYU in their history, which, again, knowing their history is wild. But the only reason it is that is because of what is on the line now. Something that's never been on the line before. The way they determined national champions, unfortunately, in 1984, it worked for BYU's favor in that 1984. It also feels fake in a way. And I'm not trying to take the national championship away from BYU, but everybody knows every year we had to do this dance of, well, are you the AP champion, or are you the College Football Writers of America champion, or are you the USA Today champion? Like, when I was a kid growing up, like, I was taught, hey, Washington's a national champion. And people in Miami are like, no, you're not. And I was like, I didn't even know what people across the country were saying, that Washington weren't the national champions in 1991. Oh, no, they're not. Well, who is? Well, no, Miami over here. Well, why didn't they play each other? Well, you got the Orange Bowl down there. That's their affiliation. You guys are affiliated with the Rose Bowl. Don't talk to us. What are we doing? So now we have the closest version to a legitimate college football championship that incorporates more people than we've ever had.
Yep.
And a bigger pool to draw from. And the bigger pool has gotten you other teams that you've been talking about. But, again, like I said, the SEC has top 10 matchups every year. They have them almost every week at this time of the year.
Because who gives them the dang rankings?
1,000%. I agree. But this is where you want to be in that same conversation. And how long is it going to last? Hopefully more than a week, because you don't want to be one of these teams that falls out of the conversation and then doesn't get back into it. For BYU, when they lost those 2 games during the season when they did last year, that's what took them out of the contention. It was only later that people go, I thought BYU got screwed by the College Football Playoff Committee. You go,
they did.
Say that. You're like, say that when it's happening, not after.
And Utah's a case study, to your point, where their losses came earlier in the season, and they've been kicking butt since. People have forgotten about the 2 losses already, and they're number 13 because the metrics love them.
That's the Urban Meyer effect, right? Like, I think he said it one time, because he's had an undefeated season before that, and he goes, would you want to go undefeated? He's like, no. He's like, I don't want to go undefeated. I'd rather have my loss. But if I want to lose it early in the season.
And then you start sneaking
it's for
in.
that reason right
You
there.
start sneaking in.
You
and
take
then
your
go,
you learn from your losses, and then later you just build from there.
Yeah.
And then you always have to remember, we don't want to be like what we were in week 4, right? And you just build from there, and that's.
But I diss on Notre Dame all the time. I hope those guys lose this weekend to Pitt. It's another one of these.
I hope they do because their schedule's always front loaded.
It's always. But last year, what happened? They front-loaded the schedule, and then they ended up losing to a Northern Illinois team that we all looked at each other and went, what? But what happened? At the end of the year, we went, so they did have that bad loss. And then people act like, but that was 4 years ago. I was like, no, it was a couple months ago.
It was 2 months
but we
ago.
forget. And what ended up happening? To their credit, not only did they lose that bad game, they won all the games that were in front of them, and they even won the games to get to the national championship
Right.
game. Like, it can happen. You
Beat
can have a
Georgia.
loss here and there. By the way, college football, you can have a loss in there. You can have 2, and you could still be one of the best teams in the country on any given Saturday or any given bowl game, whatever it might be. So the first rankings that came out, the Big 12 is where they are, which is well ahead of the ACC, which is, I think, a great step because that's where they need to be because the ACC has been absolutely atrocious the last few weeks. And if your reps from the ACC are going to be Virginia or Louisville or Georgia Tech, Godspeed. Those 3 teams are not going to take you to the promised land if you're the ACC.
No way.
No.
I wonder.
It's a one big league. It's a one bid league this year. The
Yeah.
ACC is. There's no way they can leapfrog the teams in front of them.
Does BYU stay in the top 10 if they lose?
Yes, but I bet they fall to 10,
You
depending
see
on the Oregon result.
Did you see everybody
They want to move Notre Dame up so dang bad.
Of
They want
course
to
they
move
do.
Texas
I just
up
don't
so dang
understand
bad.
why.
I
Notre Dame
understand.
has a terrible schedule.
Who have they beat?
They've beat nobody.
Exactly.
That's the problem. They beat Purdue,
Yeah. Well,
Arkansas, Boise
Notre Dame
State.
is number 10 because they're number 10. It's like, oh, well, they
No.
played the tough
You-
games in
they're-
non-conference. They played Miami early. They played Texas
Yeah.
A&M
Lost
early.
to both of them.
They did not win those games,
Yeah.
and they haven't won a key marquee matchup since. I mean, what did they beat? USC?
Yeah, and they won't
That's
have
their
them.
quality win.
Well, the problem is they don't have marquee matchups after that, right? And so you had the ones at the beginning of the year where they go, oh, look at this. Let's get this one up in front of everybody. But then you lost it. Well, let's get this one up in front of everybody. Oh, you lost that one too. And by the way, Miami, keep on losing because that looks like garbage for Notre Dame. Texas A&M, definitely overperforming compared to what we usually get from Texas
Give
A&M.
them credit.
If Texas Tech loses now, are they in the top 15?
I really do think that the backstop is Utah. I think that they could stay. They go from 8. You lose to number 7, okay? And this should happen for BYU too. You lose to number 8 or you lose to number 7. You slide to, if you're BYU, you probably slide to 10, maybe even 11 because they love trying to figure out where they can put Texas.
You can't change the rules just because it's not the SEC or the Big Ten.
But I think that
You have to be fair.
I think
but they won't be.
if Utah is the backstop and they stay at 13, and we've talked about this because the committee will maybe go, well, they had a bye this week. They had a bad bye. Bad bye. Put them back to 15 because resetting the limits for, I think, people to fall past Utah, Tech can't fall past Utah. BYU right now won't fall past Utah. And so I think if you can keep everybody right there, Utah is that backstop. I think, and those Big 12 teams can stay in that little
Which would be
grouping
great
right
for
there.
the league because what did we talk about before the season started? The Big 12 needs multiple bids.
Yeah.
2, and the crazy
Right.
thought is they could possibly get 3 this
Right.
year. It's not crazy if everybody wins out.
Yeah.
And this conference needs to start having bullies. You're seeing 3 bullies emerge.
and get in the conversation. Just be in the conversation at the end. People,
There are clearly 3 teams in the Big 12 that are better than everybody else.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more to go. It's a Football Friday. Thanks for being with us on the program. We will come back at Mountain Ridge High School, which is where we're set right now. High school football matchup in the quarterfinals of the 6A state championships with Mountain Ridge and Harriman facing off tonight. And then, so we'll go all the way up till 5 o'clock. So we got a short show. We got to jam all this stuff in here. We got more to go around the corner. Stay right here with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All college football, all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, the usual. And then, of course, Sly and Harvey Langi, nice enough to hang out on a Football Friday with you. Harvey, you nailed it. Perfect weather out here. It's just like, look, we're just talking football. We're just hanging out in the sun. It's November, and it's like 57 or 58 degrees. We're almost to 60 degrees, man. Like, can't ask for much better. I just hope it holds up for this when we're doing the Turkey Bowls here in a couple weeks so I can blow out my Achilles in nice weather.
Hey, man, knock on wood, man.
Hopefully you've got a lot of money in your HSA account.
You know how, listen,
always prepared.
You know
Why you said that last year? I play in 2 in the morning, and on my way back, one of my good buddies is like, "Please just stop by. Just stop by." They had a little tournament, and they were in the championship game. Like, just stop by.
Settle down.
You know, he was recruiting me. And I was driving by, so hey, I pulled over, and went in and played. Caught a couple passes to help out, stopped a couple, get some
fourth down conversions.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I could see all you. Sorry.
Out of nowhere, the quarterback is the opposite. The opponent quarterback is rolling out to the right, and just a loud snap, and he just drops Achilles. Gonzo,
so we had
Alonzo.
No, I've been a part of it. So the thing that I do is I'll play in like the kids game with my kids, like a little bit younger ages, and I'll go, I'm all-time Q. That's what I do. Hang back.
Hot route.
Hang back.
Hot route.
I'll just play.
Just go stand over here, please.
Oh, I'm all-time quarterback. Sorry, you guys. That's all I'm doing.
I could see you former NFL guys just driving around town on a Thanksgiving morning and just dropping in on turkey bowls.
It's interesting.
Hey,
it's
you need
interesting
a ringer?
you asked. It's interesting you asked.
I'm ready to go.
I happen to be in Mill Creek right now. Sure.
Whoa! And my cleats are in the car.
Oh my gosh! What a coincidence! I guess I can play.
I've definitely witnessed the Achilles tear, and it was funny because I was chasing a guy and his popped and he went down and he thought I kicked him. He's like, why would you kick me? Like I'm a cheap player, but like I wasn't gonna kick you. It was that pop in the back. You feel like it's somebody punched your
Sniper
calf.
in the freaking trees.
Yeah. So sorry for your loss out there for all you people who don't know it yet, but you're going to tear your Achilles. If you're 40 plus,
orthopedic surgeons in Utah rejoice.
Let's stretch it out.
Thanksgiving is coming.
Let's stretch this thing out. BYU and Texas Tech facing off, of course, this weekend. Tomorrow, an early one. Is that 10 a.m. game? I was listening actually to one of these, this Reckham podcast or something today, this Texas Tech podcast, and they brought up the earliness of the Utah game and how they showed up, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm fine with it as a road game. I hate it for our stadium." And I was like, Utah fans can agree.
Attest to that.
They can attest to the idea of. So they were like, we like an early game if we're the visiting team, I guess. Like, we'll do it. But for them at home, they were like, our stadium, that's not fun for us.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of work to get ready for that.
So
fireworks at 10 a.m. aren't that spectacular.
No, they don't track as well at night or during the daytime as they do at night. So does the 10 a.m. kick matter for these two teams as they face off tomorrow? It mattered for Utah, but that almost felt like it was a little bit more of a. Kalani's done the early games. He talked about, hey, we went down to Baylor last year. We had a 10 a.m. kickoff, and we were up 28-0 before, before Baylor woke up, so to speak, and they did.
Wanted to
they
go
did.
crazy.
Trying to make it interesting.
But I just don't know what the timing actually really does for you, or if you can just play ball whenever. What time?
Well, actually, BYU is 5-2, so they've lost 5. And they've won only 2 away games.
They're 2-5.
Yeah, no, 2-5. Yeah, they're 2-5 before noon games, before 2 p.m. games. And 4 of those games that they lost were the first year in the Big 12, and then one was last year, of course, because they're undefeated this year.
You want to be on the big stage. Yeah. It is a bummer that it's not a primetime kick because you're getting primetime attention. When you're that early in the morning, everybody's like, oh, yeah. But, like, the actual game being played at that time, Big Ten teams are used to doing a noon Eastern kickoff. Yeah. The Big 12 teams are not used to it.
Yeah. And, at night, they are like 9-1 or like 10-1 or something at night when they travel and go play if it's past 4 p.m. So I just think sometimes when you travel and then you have to wake up right away, and right when you wake up, you have to have everything packed. You have to be in your attire that you have to be on the bus. You have to make sure you have your playbook and everything. Bro, it's so fast.
I'm so superstitious, and timing is huge in football. Coaches are very superstitious as well if you ever manage the schedule. But, like, for me, I had to bump everything up. If we had a 10 o'clock kick, I'm up at 3:30.
Wow.
So you have your 4-hour before meal.
You gotta because crazy because you get to the stadium 2 hours before the game, right, or 2.5 hours before the game. So that's what 7:30.
Yeah.
Right, and then even before that, I'm doing warm-ups and everything before I even leave the hotel to go to the stadium, and then you got to do your whole warm-up routine at the stadium. And mine is so minute specific. I'm down to the second on my whole warm-up on when I get dressed, from putting my drawers on, from putting.
How many pair did you bring to the stadium, though?
You always have to. If you don't bring a backup, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, man. You can't be wearing tub shorts all the time. Man, you know what I'm saying?
You bump up everything.
You got to bump up everything, but.
Good being awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for a football game is weird.
Yeah, and then the pregame meals 4 hours beforehand.
So that's 6 a.m.
And then trying to eat spaghetti at like 6 a.m. in the morning.
They do. They still try to do
it. Oh, yeah. They give you the chicken, the vegetables, the pasta. Because carbs before the game is great because it burns, 100%. And I burn through it. And I want to be hungry. I want to be slightly hungry right before kickoff.
Yeah. You know, and so it's tough. Instead of just waking up, having a good breakfast, having your meetings, and then getting into your routine for a PM game, now you're traveling, you're in a whole different space, and then you have to get up at, exactly that, 4 or 5 a.m. just to get in your routine, maybe even before.
It's very different.
It's just a different beast to handle. So it's going to be tough on BYU and all
home
aspects,
or away, Texas Tech too.
Oh, yeah, Texas. If it was flipped, this would be tough for Texas Tech.
I bet they don't have a great record in the mornings either, and because you're not asked to kick off at 10 a.m. that often anyway. But now with the TV schedules the way that they are, they're asking 2 Big 12 games a week be basically one on at 10 a.m. TNT game and then another on.
Just make it West Virginia.
Yeah, and so you should be like, if you're losing, if you have more than 3 losses by the middle of the season, your next 3 games are all 10 a.m. you got to play yourself out of that hole.
I like that.
The wheel of punishment if you're losing. So L.J. Martin was the big question mark. This is a guy who was leading the conference in rushing before he went down last week. He's obviously still from scrimmage the leader for this BYU offense. How big of a deal is it now that you saw that he's not just going to be playing, but that they're saying, hey, he's feeling pretty darn good. I never know what that really means. Hey, I'm dealing with a little bit of an injury. You guys were just before the show talking about, you're always dealing with a little bit of an injury, but we're talking about maybe being right on that edge there of maybe sitting out, but this was one he didn't feel like he was ever going to make the decision of not sitting out.
The only thing that gets me, worried for LJ, which he is a key, part to this to BYU's offense and how they run everything through the run. We all understand how the run opens up everything. His blocking, really picking up blitzes are great, and knowing where the pressures are coming are great. But what worries me is that if it's a shoulder, and we understand that we all played through any, hey, if this is on the line, you're going. If your heart's beating, you have oxygen in your lungs, and you can run and walk, your coach, I'm going. You're not going to take, a day off on one of the biggest opportunities of your football career at this point. But if you're a running back and your shoulder hurts and during the whole week or that bye week, he wasn't allowed to be touched. He had a red jersey on. So when you have
that yellow penny.
So when you have that yellow jersey or whatever it is, you are, hey, when he comes by you, everyone take 3 steps back and let him run right by you. When someone
don't
comes
even two-hand touch. You two-hand touch, you're still getting yelled at as if you hit him.
But if you get hit, and in this game, which he will, of course.
You're right.
And it's right there on that same exact spot, and then he hasn't felt that in the past 2 weeks, then he could really be from feeling good. Hey, Coach, I don't know. It's a little,
That's what's crazy is, yes, I felt like that was the norm and narrative in college, but I remember Rashard Mendenhall. He was our running back, old running back from Illinois with me and the Steelers. And he had shoulder issue, and we couldn't touch him throughout the week. And then getting to the game, it was he was getting hit all week. He was bouncing off tackles and just doing all this stuff. So I think there's a level of preparedness, and I don't want to say professionalism, but there's a level of being a professional and getting ready for the game.
It's almost muscle memory too. I'm only used to getting hit.
Yes, because I'm telling you, seeing Troy Polamalu in practice when I first showed up for OTAs, I'm like, that's not Troy.
Yeah,
What? But I tell you what, that first preseason game, and he let the hair down.
Yep.
And he started running around like he came out of the tunnel like Tasmanian Devil. Oh, man. I'm like, oh, okay, that's him.
He just smacks you, and you can just get a breeze of head and shoulders. Oh, my gosh. That was...
I don't think I've ever seen Troy. Actually, no, I take that back. There was only one practice I've ever seen Troy actually run it. Otherwise, he's walking. It's not even a jog. He doesn't jog. He does the walking, and he's fitting up, and he's in the right place at the right time, and he's walking there every single time.
But to add on to what you're saying, though, is in in the league, and it's starting to trickle down to college. When you do have the red jersey or the orange jersey on, they still the training staff will still take you out there, and they will have another guy from the practice squad come up with their pads and be like, hey, we need a couple reps, get them ready. And they get them prepared from a running standpoint, cardio, from hey, we're going to get you in rehab and get you all these whatever, the stems and all that, but they also get the physicality part out there too, because even when I was with the Patriots, whoever was injured and I was on practice squad, if I'm just a third stringer, like, Harv, bring your pads on over here. You're going to come in there and just hit Gronk for like 5-6 reps, but give him everything you got. So
he had a yellow penny on every day.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. But, but that's the different types of preparation when it gets to when you go to the NFL. I wonder if BYU does that. I don't know.
Did either of you two play with an AC sprain? You know what it's like?
Yes, I have. Yes.
So what's it like?
It's painful.
Okay.
But you can play.
Which is what we're told he was dealing with.
That's what we're going to find out on Saturday is what
they
did
had a
LJ
bye
Martin
week,
do with an AC sprain.
Because I think I had the same thing. I think I got it against the Eagles. And, man, I was in a sling for that first week. I was like,
wow.
I can't get surgery on this. This hurts so bad, right? And then next, I still was able to play after this. My shoulder was a little different. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But
everything's still attached. It's just a sprain.
I played. I played like 2 weeks after. So
yeah,
is it just pain tolerance?
Yeah, which is the game. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have braces and stuff to help, but
keep it tight. They do
there's
the
substances that are
Excuse you.
that are, that help you, and then 2 days later
There
you're
is?
just like on the ground.
I've seen Varsity
Don't come
Blues.
in here, Dewey.
I've seen Varsity Blues. You don't need to explain it to me, okay?
You don't want none of this. It takes all your pain away.
John Voight comes into the BYU locker room. Where's LJ Martin? The big old syringe from the night. Come on, let's go. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner. We'll get you going. I've got so many things to.
Could you reference that, and that wasn't even on the top 10?
Well,
Varsity Blues wasn't even on your top 10. That's
it wasn't
crazy.
Like it was my personal
that was a
top
terrible top 10. I'm so pissed at that still. John Voight was perfectly cast for that.
10.
He was good. He was good.
A mean Texan high school coach.
It's pretty darn good. It's a pretty darn good
The
football
end
movie.
scene when he's in the hallway by himself and nobody followed him out.
Let's go.
Yep.
Come on.
That
Here we
was
go.
great.
You're like, oh, my gosh. No one's following this guy out there? Oh, all right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Football Friday continues right here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
All college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Did you say Kurt Angle?
Welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone. Stevenson, Sylvester, Harvey, Langi, Jeremiah, Jensen, myself. Thanks for being with us. Connor and Cammy are here, too. Actually, they're the ones that take it seriously. They keep it professional than the rest of us sometimes. We kind of.
You got to rein us in.
Yeah. Hey, before we get in, look, we'd be remiss not to mention at least a little bit some of what's going on, of course, with this University of Utah football team. I was able to tune in to some of the television broadcasts, and there was a guy in the end zone who looked like he was absolutely unhinged, and I was like, they need to kick that guy out of the football game. It was actually Stevenson Sylvester.
Get him out of here.
You saw that, huh?
I'm all this guy. I see him, and the thing is like, so
Film don't lie.
Oh, eye in the sky don't lie.
Sly has a stance that he gets into in the back of the end zone. You can't see it, but like this.
Bro, I don't even know when I do that.
I know, but Sly does this thing where he gets full wide legs, and like I know he's watching something going on right here, and I don't know at what point of the game it was, and it honestly looks like that they've said, hey, look, this is one of our assistant coaches. He's a little bit weird.
He has a microphone in his hand.
Not allowed.
That looks like Jim Harbaugh
Bro,
right there.
He's been kicked off of the sidelines already.
He's allergic to sleeves.
He already got an unsportsmanlike.
If you would have seen
no
me
sleeves.
on the punt return, I even shocked myself. I'm like, how did I see that? Because, like, so, I don't know. We just play a game for so long. You look at certain things and you just know. Like, so right after the snap, he punted it, and I looked right at the guys who were covering, and they were all still at the line of scrimmage. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got something. And then I see him catch it, and then just the sea just parted. And I'm just like, oh yeah, and I seen it before everybody else freaking seen it, and so I'm in that stance, and he's down there. I'm like, oh yeah, we got some. Let's go, hit it hard, baby, hit it hard.
It's the guy on the hat. It's the Utah man. It's Utah man on the hat. He's basically.
Of course he does that. Look, it's right there on his chest.
I know.
That's his thing.
I was going to be the A. No, you are. You are. What has happened with this Utah team over the past 3 or 4 weeks
since
here?
BYU?
What have they figured out?
I mean, here's the thing: and this is no disrespect to BYU, and this is why football is so great because you have to bring it every single week, right? And just because you think you're a better team or you may be a better team doesn't mean you're a better team because you did not perform. Being a better team means you have to perform on the day. And honestly, I just feel like Utah's pissed off at what they put on tape against BYU.
And they should.
They know they were a better team than BYU, and we let them off the hook. Right, but like
you can know, but you know.
But as I said, it doesn't matter.
That's what I was like.
If you don't
take home the results, you know.
If you don't perform at game time, it doesn't matter. Whatever you think you are or whatever, it doesn't matter. You have to perform that day, that time, because football is the biggest thing about not getting second chances, right, or not getting another opportunity. You know how much we talk in 2008 about playing Florida? Who won the national championship that year? What if? You know, we didn't get to play them. So that's just what it is. Yeah. And I think Utah is really understanding the moments right now and getting up and preparing. And it can really be as simple as coaches talking about. So they're just believing in what the coach is preaching, and they're just putting it on tape.
I 100% agree. I think when you lose and you start to take a step back and you look at it in the perspective of like, what am I doing that I'm not, you know, I'm taking it for granted. Am I showing up right when it starts? Am I staying after? Like, there's a lot of things that I could have done that maybe could have helped me change that game. So I think you're right. The small little moments, the small little details, I do believe that when you do take a loss, like, you know, Utah has against BYU, that just allows them to just take a step back. And that's what makes great team, you know, football great in general, is like when you get adversity, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to just let it just take over you and just be like, look at me?
That shows the type of competitor you are, or what are you going to do in the face of adversity?
Or are you guys going to be like, hey, linebackers, we're all going to stay here 5 more or 10 more minutes, all right? And we're going to go over everything. Hey, get in. Hey, let's get a O-line over here. Hey, let's go. Hey, strong right. You know, those are the things that take your team to another level, and I think Utah's doing that.
Here's a little thing, too. There's a little sharpening iron, too, here, right? Like, we've talked about it, or I may have talked about it in other pregame shows, of Lander Barton not really making those splash Devin Lloyd-type plays.
Yeah.
But he's that caliber player, but, you know, he had to miss, you know, the first half of that Colorado game, and Trey Reynolds went off.
Yeah.
Dude went off. So Lander's probably like, I can do better. He's playing my position and killing it and making all of these plays. And I saw Lander do better last week. And so there's a bit of iron sharpening iron when there's other people coming in and doing great, right? We see Daniel Bray doing great. Wayshawn Parker's now doing great as well, right? And so everybody's elevated. Now we saw quarterback Bert Finklin doing great. Evan Dampier's doing great, right?
Devin had one of his best games of the year last week.
Exactly. There's iron sharpening iron in there. So let's hope, you know, Tobias Merriweather's now learning. He didn't get to play last week. Hopefully he can step up in the last 3 weeks or even in big-time situations.
I'm not going to let Ryan Davis take over my world, right?
Well, I mean, Ryan Davis is a dog. He's absolutely – I love his attitude too. But, like, I just think there's a little bit of iron and sharpening iron and getting better every single week and realizing the talent that we have on this team.
I want to do some more on this. Let's come back and we'll chat a little bit about that. We'll get some more thoughts as to how BYU should approach this Texas Tech game as well. But I want to dive in even more to how Utah has made this not just a turnaround, but really they're just beating the heck out of people now. You can win every Wednesday on a Win Ticket Wednesday on the program. Every Wednesday we give out stuff. This next Wednesday, we're going to be giving out some stuff. How about holiday lights at the ballpark at America First Square? It's a brand new immersive holiday tradition. We gave away some tickets to it this week. We're going to do it again next week. Family 4-pack of tickets on Wednesday. For our Win Ticket Wednesday, you can go to the ballpark at afs.com to find your tickets there, or you can win them all day on Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone. More to go. We're right around the corner. It's JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All college football, all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on in. It's another edition of JJ and Alex. It's another edition of Football Friday. Stevenson, Sylvester, Harvey, Langi, Sly, and Harvey, nice enough to come in on these Fridays and hang out with us this year. Harvey, this is your first year doing the Football Fridays. How have you liked it, man?
It's been absolutely amazing. This has been great.
You know who hasn't come through on the snacks yet? Is this freaking guy right here. JJ hasn't had snack duty yet.
Hey, he's the
What are you doing?
No,
he's royalty, man.
No, come on. Next week.
I think I could have done it last week, but I wasn't around.
Yeah, Halloween. He had a wig on last week.
I did have a wig on.
I'm coming up the steps. I'm like, what is that? It's blowing in the wind.
Oh, he really did?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm like, what is that?
Don't bring up wigs in Halloween, please. My son changed his outfit about 4 or 5 different times. When did you ever get 4 or 5 different costumes?
That's what I'm
crazy.
about to say.
When? You know?
We rotated our costumes.
So
you wore that last year.
Our youngest daughter, our second to youngest daughter, she's 5, and so what did she do? She wanted her outfit a month before it fired off. Give me this, and we got to have this. And we're like, all right, we'll get it. So we got it, great, and we were like, she's going to lose this before the night of. Didn't lose it, but what she definitely did was lost interest in it. So by the time it was the night of, she just basically wore regular pajamas with like a fake cat-like mask on.
Stop.
Everything else is thrown out the window. Like, I'm not wearing that stupidity. I've been wearing it all month.
So when you got it, did you give it to her and she just was looking at it all month?
No, she was wearing it all the time. She wore it for like 3 weeks straight.
So that's the problem.
I know, but I couldn't I got it, and I was actually, there's part of me that was like, good. She's not just going to wear it the one night. Let's make her wear it all month. She's waking up, putting on her bluey outfit, and then and by the end of it, she's like, I don't want to do blue anymore. I'm going to be a cat.
Yeah, then my son has to go to his school
Put
thing.
a paper mask on.
And then he's like, I don't want to wear all these. I'm like, dude, you were just A, B, and C for the trunk or treat, and I'll just wear one of them to school. No, I don't want to. I had to go knock on the neighbors. The neighbor gave us a whole tote of wigs.
Sounds like a whole bunch more butt whoopers need to be passed out.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, and then we pop on this like afro type wig, like, dude, you can be Bob Ross, man. He's like, who's Bob Ross? And then he dials in Bob Ross, and then the morning comes to go to school. My guy throws on an all black suit, a chain, and shades with the afro. He's like, nah, I'm a security guard.
Okay.
I'm like, what? I'm like, dude,
looks like
you're 6 years old. How do you even know they dress like that, man? Like, chill out. You know?
Hey,
like,
you know what?
You just changed your mind like 8 different times. Like, dude,
can
When
put it
did
down.
security guard become an outfit?
he never did.
Halloween.
He just
Never
wanted to be
does.
cool. He wanted to wear shades to school.
I'll tell you what, it's we're getting through it. So now that we're into November, if you can believe it, we've got lots more ahead of us here. When I say lots more, we just have a few more weeks of being able to talk some football through the rest of the season. So let's kick off the program as we always do. We got to get going here. I still want to ask a little bit about what Utah's done to turn that corner a little bit. We'll get to what what BYU has to do against Texas Tech to be able to get the win down there in Lubbock. Let's kick it off here with the cut right here, top of the program.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the show. Doug Smith, of course, an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. It is the family of dealerships inside the Doug Smith, under the Doug Smith umbrella. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this Utah team again. You've obviously been able to watch all these games pretty up close and personal, but what's the thing that has changed the most? Maybe the thing that you looked at and you went, no, that's the biggest difference of this Utah team. For them to be able to they're not just winning games, Sly, they're embarrassing teams on both sides of the football, really in all 3 phases too, because now it's like every week you're getting block punts or punt returns on top of all of the other beatdowns that they're doing on both sides of the ball. Cincinnati did not know what was going to hit them when they came into Rice-Eccles, and of course they did what they like to do, which is a guy who doesn't make very many mistakes, and Brendan Sorsby all season long, 1 turnover all year long, comes in, and they made him look foolish there at Rice-Eccles Stadium. What's the biggest difference, Ben?
Even as players, there's only so much talk that everybody can just believe in, right? And I just think that the talking was done, and now I just think that they're actually believing in the product that they have, right? You see them do the interviews. I really love this team. I got the greatest teammates and this and that. That's what you say. You say a lot of those things. Like, even the coaches, like, we got a great depth here. We got a number 2 quarterback who's actually not the number 2 quarterback. He's number 3 quarterback. But, you guys don't need to know that. But, like, there's a lot of talk in training camp in the first parts of the season. You don't really know about the guy lining up next to you until you've gone through the ish. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that these guys have wavered the storms from the early morning games and the tough losses to, the rivalry games and how important that was and the narrative going in there and what you thought was going to happen and what you actually put on the field. I just think that they're actually understanding what they have and coming through and believing in that, right? And that's so much Harvey, when you grew up, what does coaches tell you or what did your trainers tell you? Football, what percentage of the game is mental versus physical?
99.
The game is literally 80+% mental. As physical as it is, you're running down on kickoff, you're blowing into somebody.
Says these guys who were born with amazing athletic
These genetic
bodies.
freaks sitting next to us.
What you talking about? Born with?
You're like, it's all
Don't denounce my work. I've sacrificed. I sacrificed for this body.
I did not like football the first 2 years I played. I did not like it at all.
There's
Zero.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I played basketball. Guess what? I had fun. I got cool shoes. I played baseball. I got the little ticket after the game. Got to go get me, little nachos.
Slurpee, yeah.
Exactly.
And I played football, and I'm like, I had to be super sore, but I have to bring everything I got to the table every practice. And I'm like, man, this stinks, and then I have to do it within 11 guys, 10 guys on this. And if I mess up, then he messed up, and then we all messed up. Yeah. I'm like, man, I just want to go home and, play Halo or something.
It's that fact right there, I think, is the biggest thing in sports, no matter what sport you are. I could talk basketball, right? Like, as a kid, I was a sports junkie. In my mind, I could do everything. I could cross people up. I could go between my legs, behind my back. I could dunk. I could do that finger roll, George Gervin reverse. I could do all those things, but I never did it in real life, right? Until I just started believing in it, and I literally did it. My junior and senior year of high school, I was averaging 18, 20 points a game and fouled out every game. But in basketball, and then in
that's
football,
why the Utah coaches said that's a football player.
They came to my basketball game and said it. It wasn't even my football game.
I always love that you added how many fouls you had in the game, like it was one of the stats.
It was a stat for me.
Fouling out of every game. That is a linebacker.
Out of the 28 games we played all the way to championship, I probably fouled out of 22 of them. But like that belief, it was more of a life, and that's where I'm talking about. It's mental, right? And if you could control them, just like good quarterbacks, right? Your son's a quarterback, and how much do you tell him? How much his right?
Reading the defenses, the decisions you make,
that's mental more than physical.
100%. You've done all the work before the game.
Yes.
But once you go to the game, everything you do out there, your physically is a reflex.
Yes.
Your body's trained to do that. Your mind tells your body what to do, and you've got to process everything out there on the field. You're absolutely right.
And I think that's the difference between the participation people, the good people, and even the great players is that level of control of your mental. And I think that's the difference between the 1%ers that go to the NFL or just play the game is the ability to handle adversity and be able to control your mind. And so, sorry to get back to your original question.
I think
Utah's just believing in what their stuff. They're mentally there.
I'll quickly keep it simple. Slide my observation. They did not execute well in both the Texas Tech and BYU games.
No, not at all.
Since that BYU game, they're executing at a very high level.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of it, think about the things in those games that did not feel like Utah, right? You got out physical.
Didn't feel like
Texas
Utah.
Tech,
Yes.
right? You got out physical by Texas Tech. We were talking to the beat writer the other day. He's like, yeah, we heard all this stuff about how physical the offensive line was, and so when that defense pushed around that offensive line, I was like, ooh, that has to hurt to hear that because it took
really grinds my gears.
I know. At the same time, it's not like people go, yeah, Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu are still not very good.
But it goes back to what Harvey said in the last segment.
They're still the number, like he's still. We looked at the draft board yesterday, and one of the projections has it number 6. Spencer Fano go number 6. Lomu go number 16 in the first round. It's not
16?
like yes.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't like they're like, oh, by the way, David Bailey, defensive end, leads the country in sacks. They had him at 22. So like that, those two guys they have going before even some of these other cats.
It's best on best.
Yes, and so this is the part of the thing. And again, you brought it up too, the BYU game. So there was a mental thing, I think, in that game. So they were as talented as BYU was, for sure. But they didn't get out physical as much. It was more about
Execution.
the mental stuff that broke down in that game.
Yes.
So those things have all come back together.
But that's a part of the
again.
game.
Yeah, it's all come back. It's
yeah.
all come back together again. And I think that winning games by 30-something points and scoring 40-something a game, people need to understand, this is rare air here to be able to see a Utah offense that is a top 5 scoring offense and a top 10 defense in scoring defense. It's a great spot to be in, and they're in a handful of teams that are being talked about still because people are like, no, they have all the metrics that add up to being exceptional, not just a good football team. So that part to me stands out. How does BYU then shirk what have they learned, do you think, Harvey, in these games that they've had that have been these close ones that they've been getting dinged on now in the national perspective? People are going, man, they came back and they won these games. Now they're going, yeah, but they were down against these teams, and they bring it up like it's such a negative thing. And in my mind, they've learned a lot in those situations where they've had to come back.
But I think that's the beauty of that. Actually should help BYU.
Yeah.
It's just showing, hey, you were down 14 against Colorado or Arizona, one of the two,
Never
and then
wavered.
you guys came back. That brings a lot of pride, and that should be flipped the other way. And we were never down against that team. Well, guess what? You lost. We won. At the end of the day, it comes back to just who wins. You could start off however, but the way you finish it, if you take that win home, then what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say about Utah is that they are running the ball great with Sean Parker. With Sean Parker, the past 2 games, Colorado over 100 yards, and then Cincinnati over 100 yards, 124. I think that they're taking pride, and I think it comes back to when they lost to Texas Tech, when Utah lost to Texas Tech, when Coach Whittingham said, we need to win the line.
Yeah.
And we got to, stress that. And then they lost it to BYU. Wayshawn only had 23 yards, and Dampier only had probably even less than that. So now that they're running the ball efficiently, it opens up for everyone, Ryan, all the rest. So for BYU, though, this is going to be huge if LJ can play, which he says he is, and he can do what he does. But Bear is going to have to pick up the slack, and they know that Bear's a runner. He is 94 carries for 408 yards as a quarterback, true freshman. And then he has over 200 attempts and only threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Texas Tech knows we got to just rattle this guy. If we can rattle this true freshman and bring him out of his shell right now, which I don't think he's in a shell, stop LJ and do that, and then get to him, it's going to be tough because Bear and LJ together, it opens it up for everybody, for Chase, for Parker Kingston, for, Carson Ryan.
Sounds like JoJo might be back this week.
So BYU just needs to run the ball efficiently against Texas Tech. If they can do so, then it's going to be a defensive game for sure.
It's going to be tough against that front. So what I think BYU is going to need to do in this game is throw the ball well. And that doesn't mean you have to go just throw streaks and go deep the whole time.
You don't
got
have
to get the
you
ball
don't have to
out.
go 360 like you did
No.
against Iowa State.
But you're going to, like Arizona State beat Texas Tech. What was the recipe?
Jordan Tyson.
Sam Leavitt and Jordan Tyson. So you had a great quarterback and a great receiver on the same page and healthy, which was rare this year.
Right.
But he got the ball out quick and he got it to the right playmaker. He ended up having 2 100-yard receivers in that game. That's how you got to do something to take that pass rush out of the game. You got to do something to neutralize that defensive front, and the quick pass game might be it. And I've seen Bear do it. I've seen Bear do it. He's shown that he can do that. He's thrown quick slants that turn into 60-yard gains.
Sly, let me ask you this. Jay Hill gets an extra week of prep on a team. How big of a difference does that make? Like, what are they do? What are they studying against this Texas Tech team? Because I just don't think that – I don't think Baron Morton is the killer that people thought he was.
No. I think it helps out a ton, right? To go back to when Harvey was talking, I was just like, Texas Tech and honestly all of college football right now, Bear's dangerous. I would say because he's so young, he doesn't have a brain. He's not thinking. just going out and playing, right? And I can remember that my rookie year, I had no expectation, nobody thinking anything of me.
He doesn't have parameters that people would put on him.
There's no goal set. He's exceeded every expectation everybody thought. There's no expectation. He's just out there balling. He's backyard balling right now. And so he's in a prime position. BYU definitely take advantage of it. One, him being a baller. But two, him being young and not thinking about anything else, right? There's no off season to sit on and anticipate this season and build up on the expectations of last season. There's none of that right now. You're just cruising, and that's right there is dangerous. My rookie year, there was no expectation of me. I'm balling all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right? And so that is a very dangerous position to be if you're an opponent. And you're talking about rattling. And this is what I'm talking about. You're talking about rattling bear. I'm just like, there's no rattling this guy. This guy.
Did you break something?
Yeah, the story of my life. So everything around my house has a hole in it. No, but there's no rattling this guy. He's absolutely awesome, and I just think that BYU just needs to stick with their game plan and them being down in all those games. Here's the thing. You talk about 2008, what does everybody say? It was an undefeated team, right? Nobody talks about us beating New Mexico 13-10 and
Nobody
being scared
Yeah.
What was it
about that.
Wasn't Wyoming close too, I want to say?
No, we beat them 48-0. That was a halftime.
Yeah.
The New Mexico game was the, oh, my gosh, they're
It was
gonna
right
lose this
before
game.
the TCU game. Yeah, we were right about the.
But those moments happen it's not that New Mexico had a great team and you guys were matched up perfectly against talent, skill
right.
on
You
skill.
got to execute on the day. Yeah,
and
On the road.
And some teams show up and they have a juice that that is different,
Mexico
an emotional vibe. Like,
they were crappy, right, in quotations, but they played us. I can't say that I don't think we played great, but we were an outstanding team. But they played us really good that day.
Yep.
They played excellent defense. Their offense was tough. Special teams was great. But, you still have to execute on those days, man. And so the early tough games for BYU, they could take that into the end of the season and literally obliterate good teams because they've been through adversity.
We should do a re-rank of what we should do is go back to 2008, do our own college football playoff, and rank those teams like they were coming out in the college football playoff rankings and be like, yeah, but they had that close game against New Mexico. I put them down at 19.
Boise State hit them with that, that little sneak pass in the end zone right there.
Well, you can't do that in the SEC.
They call that a Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
This two-loss Alabama team just impresses me.
Yeah.
So
It just means more.
I think it's interesting you bring that up because I don't care what day it is. Trying to put together, I think it's unreasonable for people to go, yeah, just stay undefeated. That's all you got to do. It's it feels unreasonable to make that ask, but it also is unreasonable for people to ask BYU to go back and explain yourself in close wins.
Yes.
That is such a weird
Yeah.
thing. It's such a strange
Let me
thing.
say
The
something
W's
about
at the end of the day.
I'll say two things about BYU's situation with the close win thing, the coming from behind thing. Number one, they had the ability to come from behind from 14 points. That is special. That's a sign of a special team.
Right.
The other thing is they haven't played 4 quarters yet.
Yeah.
What game
they
have
struggle.
they played?
They struggle to
what
start
game do you
fast.
feel like, wow,
They struggle.
BYU has been their best for 4 quarters,
Their
which tells
best?
me they have not yet played a complete game.
Yep. They were down against Utah by half.
Hold on, was it Portland
So
State?
there is still a ceiling left for this. I mean, if you want to count Portland State, I guess they played a full half, right?
Yeah.
There is still a ceiling for BYU that they have not reached yet.
Yep. And, this is going to be a huge defensive battle. Texas Tech, I truly believe their offense, gosh, they have Cameron Dickey, 134 carries, 746 yards. My guy has 10 tutties. They need to shut that down because when he gets going, guess what? They have 3 wide receivers.
You saw what he did against Utah in the fourth quarter.
Well, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and wide receiver 3 all have over 350 yards, and they have 4 or 5 touchdowns each, averaging over 11 yards a catch. That's unreal for your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. And then their tight end comes in with 21 catches for 302 touchdowns, averaging 14. And then you have your backup, your third down running back that has 525 yards receiving. And
He's
this guy
the
can
most
score.
dangerous guy, though.
Right.
Jacoby Williams.
Oh, man. In person, that dude right there.
What number is he?
20.
20.
He can go off.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, look, He's the guy who had that 75-yard run right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
You didn't want to talk about it because there was a defensive holding situation.
No,
going
there
on
was
Is that what's going on?
there was somebody who didn't get the right technique. This basic football.
Execution.
Yeah.
Slides over on the sideline.
What are you doing? Get the hole. Take the cut. Take the cut.
Doing his Jim Harbaugh.
75 yards later.
I was wondering how long it was going to take. Harvey busted out the notebook.
Yeah, I got to bust it out.
Become a staple.
Well,
on our
I
Fridays.
think BYU also needs to prepare for Will Hammond. Will Hammond has 43 rushes for
Oh, he's
almost.
out for the year.
ACL.
He's out for the year.
Oh, he's out?
He's
Yeah,
out. He's
out
out.
for the year.
He's out.
I did not know that. So that's
ACL,
great.
he's gone,
So
he's out.
That's great. Yes.
yes, that's great because
Trust
my guy
me.
has 5 touchdowns
God
on
bless
the
him.
ground.
God bless him.
I
Well,
honestly think that if Barron Morton played that entire Utah game, it doesn't look the way it did.
Utah
Just-
was either. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Texas Tech's offense was not
He
moving
was
the ball.
scared. You see how Sorsby was last week?
Because Utah was doing a great job in man coverage. And
Yes.
Those
Yes.
deep outs he likes to
And
throw weren't there.
What is the bugaboo for man coverage? QB run game.
Yeah, and what did Will Hammond do? As
He
soon as he
QB
started
run
running
game,
on him,
and then
opened everything up.
And then Utah started having being frantic about QB run game,
Yep.
and then he hit
And
the
then the
double route.
Yep.
The last thing that I for this game for BYU against Texas Tech for me is because BYU we all know they can run the ball. They have LJ and they have Bear. So what is Texas Tech going to do? They're going to load the box, right? Let Bear beat us with his arm. Can Bear beat him with their arm? Going back to what JJ says, and can BYU's O-line block? Because right now Texas Tech has 28 sacks, and 11.5 of those sacks come from David Bailey. Can they stop David Bailey? Because that pass rush, if you want to sit there and try to get explosive plays, you got to get that ball out before 3 seconds. And if you don't, guess what? David's going to be in your face, and it's going to be a long
And
day
if you
for
don't
Bear.
make an accurate throw, Jacob Rodriguez is going to
Yep.
right there.
So,
You're right.
so I
That's
just
a
think,
Are you talking about Virginia's old wide receiver?
yeah. So it comes down to the question, can BYU's offensive line block this front seven of Texas Tech? And if they can, I truly do think they'll have an opportunity to win throwing the ball and having Bear in the pocket.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We're late to it. We got to get you to the top of the hour also. We got Jazz
So
versus
much to talk
Timberwolves
about.
tonight. Jazz
man.
Timberwolves. I know you had this written down in that notebook of yours, Harvey. This is an NBA Cup game. Round 2 of the NBA Cup. The much lauded NBA
I put
Cup.
round 1 on here. My bad.
We'll take a break. We got more to go around the corner. We are here at Mountain Ridge High School, Mountain Ridge and Harriman tonight. Facing off, the loser of this one has to play in Harvey Langi's local Turkey Bowl. So you got to be there. You got to be ready
Watch
for that.
those hamstrings.
The way these kids kick and throw, though, I'm always like, man.
Hey, we allow Stickum in our Turkey Bowl, so you can bring all the Stickum you want.
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
good. We'll take a break. Come back. More to go. 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone.
All college football, all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone. Football Friday hitting hard right now. Stevenson Sylvester, Harvey Langi.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I love having these guys. These guys are chopping it up during the break. What's great is that they'll just be real about, who needs to improve X, Y, and Z. It's great. What needs to happen is this, but that's why we have these guys come in and be like, hey, you cannot afford to do
We are no different than the guy on the couch in the basement.
Yep.
a little bit.
Take it with a grain of salt. But,
A little bit.
but maybe a peppercorn.
A giant. Take that with a giant. I always say, people are like, take that with a little grain of salt. I'm like, with Sly, take it with an entire block of salt. One of those salt licks that the horse has. You can't trust anything. That guy's.
That's how I hunt right there. I need a salt lick.
Here's the deal. Lots going on. So many games, of course. The Utes are into a bye, of course. They needed it. Getting right this time of year, this double bye situation, the way the calendar works out this year actually works out for the Utes, and I think that it's important to have this time of year to be able to make sure you get right and you get your guys back to it. But bye week for the Utes, and then they get right back to it again. They got to go down to Baylor next week, so we'll see how that works down in Waco. It's not going to be the 1,000 degrees down on the turf down at in Waco like we've seen before, Sly. So Let's go with our predictions before we get to it, though. Nominate that youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week award. All you have to do is submit that nomination, KSLSports.com. We read those nominations off on Thursdays, and then you get yourself a win with a prize from the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union and also Beehive Meals. Awesome sponsors of that program. Let's jump into these predictions right off the bat here. We're going to start at the bottom. Navy goes to Notre Dame. Navy's 8-1. I'm sure that Notre Dame loves being able to talk about how, hey, this is a great team over here. This is not an 8-1 team that you've seen facing off against other folks. Navy going to Notre Dame. Your prediction on this one, JJ, win or loss for the Fighting Irish?
Easy dub for the Irish. I love Navy. I love what they do. And they're having a great season, but they're going to be overwhelmed by what Notre Dame can do. I got Notre Dame big.
I got Notre Dame also rolling in this one. When do they play Pitt? When's that game?
Isn't the week at late? Like 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now? The
There you
15th.
go.
That's the
Yep.
one I'm looking forward to.
I guess that's next week.
Sly, what do you have?
I got. Let's throw a zinger in there and go Navy. No, I'm just playing.
By the way, Notre Dame is a 27.5 point
yeah,
favorite.
you got to go to Notre Dame. Vegas
At
don't.
home.
Vegas knows something.
My goodness.
Yep, I'm taking Notre Dame. I love Navy does, but they're very predictable, and if they can't get 3 turnovers, it's just going to be exactly
They're just going to
that.
be overwhelmed
Yeah.
physically
Okay,
for
now,
4 quarters.
one of the big shocks in this week's first college football playoff ranking is unranked in the AP poll, Iowa, clocking in at number 20 on the college football playoff poll, and Oregon goes to Iowa this week. Oregon is one of these teams that's an X factor because if they lose another game, they could tumble right out of these college football playoff rankings. Iowa could be smelling blood there and say, hey, we're hosting these guys. Oregon and Iowa this week. Now, I've started to believe a little bit more in Iowa just because of the pub that they're getting this week. JJ, what do you have on
I'm
this
not believing at all. I got Oregon on the road winning this game.
Rolling?
Oregon's a 6.5 point favorite. I think they cover that easy, and Oregon wins this game. Iowa is still Iowa. I love their punter, and that's about it.
They got a great tight
They
end.
used to have good defense.
Yeah.
But, yes, I agree. Iowa's just Iowa. I got Oregon as well.
Kirk Ferentz feels a little bit like the weekend at Bernie's. They roll him out on the field, and then he
That's such
Yeah.
a great
wins.
movie.
Then he wins
They
the
don't
game.
make movies like that anymore.
I miss it. I'm like you.
Physical humor that has to last the entire movie.
Uh-huh.
I just,
Give it to me.
Basically a Saturday Night Live skit for an hour and a half.
All day long.
I'm in.
I'm gonna go Iowa with the upset. I'm gonna go that they're buying into a little bit of what that pub is. I like Oregon, but I just don't think that they are
When's
the
the last time
explosive-
Iowa had a memorable win?
It's tough because
This would be it.
They do this a lot. They go.
Yeah.
They're 6-2 a lot this time of year.
Yeah, I was
Can
like,
they
how
turn
did
that
they get
corner?
to freaking
I'm gonna go
number 20?
Iowa though. Harvey, what do you got?
I am taking the Ducks. It is tough because both of them lost to Indiana, but they were by a small margin, and it was smaller for.
Oh, look at it. Now he's got to start hugging everybody. Oh, okay.
Hey, good luck.
We got a radio show to
good
go.
luck.
We got a radio show to do here. You
Hey,
can't
let's
hug
get to
everybody.
Rice. Let's get to Rice Eccles now. Let's get to Rice Eccles, huh?
Well, you get his opinion first.
Yep.
So you're gonna go Oregon.
I am gonna go. Nope. I just flipped after just dabbing those guys up. I just felt like
feel good about
Iowa
it.
is just gonna
Okay.
upset them. I think Iowa.
Let's-
So
I'm
we
gonna
could
go
just take the result of this game as
Nope,
your,
I'll go
as your
Iowa.
pick.
Okay. Short time here. Let's go straight to the big one. BYU versus Texas Tech. Cougs taking on the Red Raiders down in Lubbock. I already made this prediction earlier in the week, and so I'm going to have to stick to it. I think Texas Tech ends up stealing this one away. I think it's going to be a 23-16 game in favor of the Red Raiders down there at their place.
I got to go selfishly, man. I want a Holy War Big 12 championship, man. So I got to get Texas Tech out of the picture, and I think this does it, man. So let's have a BYU win. I think it's going to be a dogfight. A 10 a.m. kickoff. Offenses aren't going to be awake. I'm going to go points score late, just like the Utah game. So 20-17 BYU.
This is tough for me because Texas Tech's a massive favorite.
Weird, right?
At 10 a.m. in their stadium.
Double digits.
I get it. It feels too easy for Texas Tech. I feel like BYU is in this position where nobody believes in us, blah, blah. We haven't played 4 quarters yet. My brain says Texas Tech, just like the spread.
My heart.
My heart. My heart says go Cougars.
You need to do that.
I'm not going with my brain or my heart.
Yes, he did. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
This is
yes,
a
he
feeling.
did.
This is a feeling that BYU is going to find a way because they continue to find a way.
Yes.
They're going to win this game 23-20 in overtime.
And I think that I like
Overtime,
that.
wow.
No, I like that because I think there's an identity there. And for me, if there was one word to describe this team, I think it's resilience.
Harvey, let's go quick
Well,
here.
I got a feeling too. I think BYU is going to take it. I think BYU is going to score 2 touchdowns and kick 3 field goals. They're going to be 24, and I believe. Wait, is that 24?
No, it's
23.
But with a 2-point conversion in there, we can make it work.
No, 23. I think they're going to be 23, and then I think Texas Tech will be 21.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a huge defensive game.
I like it.
Oh, you think a missed field goal at the
Separated
end
by
or
a
something?
safety.
It's going to come down to a missed field goal.
All right.
Look at you.
Let's take the break here. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up next right here on our Football Friday. Stay with us, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
All college football, all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, final 60 seconds of the show here as we get you ready. The Utah Jazz facing off in Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves. JJ, how's this one go tonight? NBA Cup action.
I'd like to see the Jazz win this because the Timberwolves missing the playoffs gets the Jazz another lottery pick.
Come on.
Anthony Edwards is a little banged up, but don't know if he's going to play or how effective he's
You're
going to
right,
be.
though. Anthony Davis is always banged up.
Right, but it's a chance for the Jazz to go in there and sneak one.
I don't know. I'm hoping so. But you're going to get your pregame coverage, of course, coming up here in just a few moments. Stay right here. Stay dialed in. Jake Scott next on your Jazz pregame on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.